Hello, this is James Davis with Trimble Forensics Tech Support, and today we will be covering the toolbar, eh, just briefly, and some of the features within it. Draw will be covered in another section, but this is what it basically looks like. However, the first one that we will go to is Tools, and you can see you've got the Dimension tool. If you click on that, brings it up, and it allows you to put in the dimension features, puts it in the screen like that with the arrows on either end, which you can select through here as well. The next section is the angle dimension, which is this tool here. If you select it, it'll bring up the properties over here. And as usual, if you select it, you do have actions with some of these features, but for the most part, it lets you change the angle of the tool itself. And then you can change the colors here, as well as the position, the font, and whether it's got arrows and lines, things like that. The next feature is the grid tool, which allows you to place a grid on the scene if you so desire. If you select it, of course, what it allows you to do is extend it out in any direction. And again, you've got move origin to grid center, move grid center to origin, which is going to be the origin of the scene itself. Extending it usually works both ways instead of just like in the one direction. So if you extend it out this way, it extends on both sides, so it keeps it proportional. The scale bar is, of course, comes in as that. If you select it, of course, again, it lets it extend it out. You can extend it out this way, or you can set the width here and have it go as large as you want, as well as you can rotate it with the grip or by using the rotation, pitch, and roll dials in the properties window itself. The bullet trajectory is going to be basically that, and if you select it, again it brings up the properties window. It lets you show the cone of possibility, the positions, gives you the positions here, and under advanced it gives you animation options. So if you're planning to animate the bullet trajectory at the time, so it shows in your animation, you can show it there as well. The momentum tool, we won't go very far into it, but that's where this tool is. It brings up the wizard, which will then take you through the momentum features and allow you to add in the variables. Photo FX, again, that's where you put in an image, which forms a backdrop to the scene itself, and this allows you to manipulate it in various ways, and that will be covered later as well. Next is the drag factor tool, which allows you to bring in data from various sources, and will take you through the wizard as well in terms of entering that information in. Crash math, clicking on this will bring up the crash math software, which allows you to use that software for mathematical inputs. The view stations will of course be covered on a different video, but this is where you add the view stations in as well as export to the viewer. Under the scene tab, we've got the ground settings, which will give you the different ground layers that you can put into the software, or you can just select 0 or none, which gives you the gray background. Sky settings gives you the different settings you can have for the sky. For if you're doing a 3D animation, you would be able to see those. Panoramic gives you the actual kind of background for the 3D animations. Fog settings gives you the view range in terms of how far you want to see in the fog, and if you want different colors of the fog, you can of course put that in there as well. Light settings is here, gives you your ambient light as well as your sunlight, lens flare, and if you're setting the height of the sun, it allows you to do that as well. If you're doing it for spotlights or if you're having street lights where you're saying those in, these let you set the presets on those lights. Cameras, this is for where you set up the animation cameras if you have something following or if you just have something viewing the animation, or let's say an intersection. Your animation settings are here. Of course, there's no timeline, so it doesn't bring it up. The measurements is where you create a data log. This would be where you're entering the information in manually. Import a data log, where you're importing it from a total station or a handheld device. Import a point cloud. After import point cloud, you have point code libraries, where this would be for the creation of a point code or for just seeing what's in there so that you could print them out. And yes to that. And then under reports, this is if you have obviously reports that you've created, such as the evidence report. If you've got evidence markers, this would print out all of the evidence markers. The momentum report, if you have that, if it's an accident. Animation report, if you have an animation. Crush energy report, drag factor, checkpoint report, and scale check report. All those are under the report section, and those should print out to a printer or PDF and allow you to hand those out. And that will do it for the basic overview of the tools section and everything in it. And have a good day and good luck